First of all, Deb told me today this is a holiday. I go, what holiday? He said, 4th of July. I go, you're kidding me. So if you think I knew that, you know I don't even know what day of the week this is. Really excited. Felt this was a good time to do this. We're at Kentucky, and we're in June talking basketball and going over this. That's what this program is. Excited because I'm coaching. I'm in coaching gear. When I'm done here, I'll go coach. We're going to Toronto, so I get a chance to be on the court. And it's been a ball. Great kids. Great stuff going on. So I'm jacked. Like, okay, let's get this going. Let me couple statements to that, and I'll open this up. But first of all that's going on in college basketball, we're going to be guided by the principles that I've been that have been with me since I started coaching, which is players first. I came in here in 2010 and I said this would be about players first. Not changing. Not changing. I know what's going on around us, but we're going to continue to recruit the best players. Many of them will be young. This will be transformational, not transactional. Not changing that. The culture's not changing. You're going to come in with other really good players. You're going to have to compete. You're not promised anything. You're going to have to take what you want. You're going to have to find your way. You're going to have to be a great teammate. You're going to have to share. That's what this program has been about, and every program that I've coached. And you know why we'll stay where we are? Because it's worked for players. It's worked for the programs. It's worked for the athletic departments. It's worked for the campuses. We're rolling that way. Name, image, and likeness. I'm not going to share everything we do because it's a competitive advantage here. Now, the reason I'm not sharing, because I got a lot of people, how are you doing it? Coaches, what are you guys doing? By coming here, if you're a terrific player, what's added to your value is being at Kentucky. It's here. Little Wayne said to me, if you don't mind me dropping a name, he said, I like how you just keep it in-house, what you do. And everybody, he said, it's like my lyric. Real G's stay silent like lasagna. Now, I have no idea what that means. But he gave it to me and said, you need to roll with that. And so we're not going to be in the business of sharing all the stuff that we're doing here. So there'll be things that are said. Some of them are right, most of them are wrong, but that's fine. I'm not going to respond to it all. Our kids, we got the #1 recruited class in the country. It didn't happen if we're not on top of what we're doing. But I'm going to say it again, even with NIL, I do not want it being transactional. I want it to be transformational, where it's about educating. It's not just about the gathering. Our kids have gotten involved in communities, in charity. Obviously, when you're educating, you're trying to say, here's what compounding interest does. Here's what investing at an early age does. Or you can just spend it all and have nothing. So it's more than just we are doing this for you, and I want you to do this for me. We're not rolling that way. Aaron Bradshaw was unbelievable in the camps in our community. The kids loved him. The parents loved him. And again, we've done the Eastern Kentucky, Western Kentucky. We've traveled to do for both the floods and the tornadoes. This year we went back to the camps around the state, and thousands showed up. And let me say this, he was one of the stars. Had a foot injury, had a choice to make. Do you let it heal or do you do an operation? He waited for a minute to say, let me see this. But at the end of the day, he said, I want an operation because I want to play. So he'll be back on campus this weekend, being a boot. I had told him and the team a while ago he would not be going to Toronto. Then he said it publicly, but he will not be with us in Toronto, obviously. He'll be getting healthy. But, you know, I look at him, and for him, he made that decision. He could have waited it out and saw that it could work and he could be fine, but he said, I don't want to take a chance. I want to play. All right, any questions? Yes.
With Aaron, just how much of a setback is that for him to not get these early practices, not get that Canada trip, especially for a young guy who's obviously still developing at a position that's a tough transition to make to this level?
Yeah, it's unfortunate for him, but we've had guys that couldn't be there in the summer and came back and played great. And all I can tell you is every time he grabs me, he says, I love you, Coach. Like, this kid is so excited about being here and wants to help us win. These guys know, even in practice, every practice, the drills are you win or you lose. Everything we do is with score, you win or you lose. You're teaching them winning matters. With him, winning matters. I want to come here and I want us to win. All these young guys are the same, and the guys that are returning are the same. But for him, it would have been better if he played. But he'll be fine.
Do you have any fear that he might miss even part of the regular season? Or?
Not from what the doctors are telling me, but we will not rush him back, and we won't, you know, it's for what he did and how he did it and how quickly. Like when he decided, it was a day and a half later or 2 days later he had the operation. So he wants to play. Yes.
Usually with these.
Right here.
What's the change that you're gonna do is, have they grown a lot off season? How much better are they now?
Well, both of them are way better. I mean, they have Uganda projected in the first round. I mean, I didn't project him in the first round, but he's projected in the first round. I said, who is watching us practice? Because he's gotten better. You have Adu, who's looking more and more physically like his dad, who I coached. He's probably near 6'7" now, and he could play multiple positions, probably 3 and a 4, but he's way more confident. So, yes, he's better. He's living in the gym. He learned from a year ago, you have to spend time at this. It doesn't just happen. It's not just games. It's about the preparation. So he's been great. Yes?
Sorry about that. Usually with these trips, you let the assistants coach a bit. With the younger team this year, do you plan to be more hands-on there, or do you kind of want to just keep that assistant?
I'm not sure yet. I will coach the exhibition friendly. And I can evaluate better when I'm not coaching. It's easier to evaluate. But this is a USA team. So it's not us going and playing in the Bahamas. So I may coach the games. I'll see how all this goes. And if I don't need to, I probably won't. But it's a little different environment than I've had in the past. Yes?
You guys recently added Trey Mitchell, somebody you posted that you've known for a while, and you get Antonio back, get some of those older guys. How important is it to have those guys? And are you kind of done with this roster where it's sitting at now with the players you have, or are you looking to maybe add anybody else to that?
Well, because everything has changed, you have a lot of teams they need guys. I'm going to make a guess, and I've been wrong before. I think it was 1978, 77. I would say 10 more transfers will happen maybe in August. So a team that thinks they have guys, you're not going to have that guy. So why would that happen? How could that happen? Raise your hand if you have no idea what I'm talking about. You can. There you go. Transfer because they graduated from the other school. They can do that on August 28th and transfer because they graduated. They don't have to, there's no time limit, there's nothing. My guess is at least 10 that will happen to. So you could make a foreign trip and the kid had graduated, and he comes back home and he says, I'm going somewhere else. May be something to do with NIL, but it may not be. So this is all different than we've ever dealt with in the past. One guy said, do you think there's anybody with 13 kids on scholarship? I said, probably not. So you ask me, will we do anything else? I don't believe so, but what if this happens and that happens? Maybe we would. It's a little different environment. And with us, if you're about players and they're putting their name in the draft, you have to let them go through the process. By going through the process, especially if one waits till the last day, that'll affect transfers. They don't know if he's coming back or not. What else would affect transfers? If you have the number one recruited class and 5 of them are projected to be, or 4, in the first round, would that affect you? Yeah. I mean, that's all stuff that would affect a team. What I like for us, we were always in a strong position. I mean, I was never panicked about anything. So, you know, where we are, I'm happy about. We got veterans. The best teams I've coached had really good young players and some veterans. Now, those veterans weren't older veterans. Sometimes they were sophomores and juniors. But they were veterans in that they played college basketball. Right now, Antonio doesn't look like the same guy. You know why? There's no anxiety. He knows what this is. He walks in, now he talks more. Now he's not like, where do I? He knows, and he's just playing. That's like a second year here. But we got a bunch of young guys that are going through the anxiety, am I good enough? What is this? And then watching them play, great. They get along so well. It's a good group. And I wish Aaron was healthy because we'd have 2 7-footers, and we have this, and we have these guards, and we're a top 50 team and all the other stuff. But it would be good to have him, but without him, we get to see some other guys. Now we get to see, okay, what if we have to put him at 4? What if we have to put him at 5? What if we want to go smaller? What if we want to go bigger? How we play all kind of comes down to who we're playing. You know, teams are going to have to do what I've done here, which is you don't really know your team, so you can't say we're going to play a certain way. You don't know who your team is. How do you know how you're going to play? I just know when we had Maxey and those guys, your top 20 offense. When we had Kellen in that group, we were top 5 offense. We're top 20 offense last year, and we played different all 3 years. We had to. The teams, there were certain ways. I had people talk to me about last year. You could only play one way with that team if you wanted to win, or if you're worried about what it looks like. Here, as you probably know, winning does matter. And so you're playing in a way that, how do I do this? Yes.
There was a point early in the summer where
What was that thing again? Little G's.
something about lasagna, I have no idea.
Move in silence.
Move it.
Move in silence.
Yeah. So now I'm going to be silent. No, go ahead.
There was a point early in the summer where the roster was basically 5 freshmen, 2 sophomores. The anxiety level of the fan base was off the chart. You trying to tell us this is going to be the new normal going forward?
Yeah.
Late into
Yes.
the roster?
Yes. There was an Elite 8 team or a Sweet 16 team. You ready? Signed 4 in August. They signed 4 guys in August. There are teams right now that may change in August because this guy or that guy goes with them. Until the NCAA gets their act in order, this is what we're dealing with. So as a coach, you understand we got guys in the draft that are waiting to make a decision, which means it's hard for other guys to do. You got the top class in the country, and 4 of them are projected first round, 2 or 3 of them are lottery picks. You want to come in? If you're transferring, you would have been in the draft if you were a first-round draft pick. You're not, and you're looking at them as though they are. Yeah. So it changes the dynamic. What happened with Trey was fate. If Hugs doesn't have an issue, that kid loved Bob Huggins. He wasn't leaving. And all of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, what's happened? I'm out. That's fate. But I'm saying if it wasn't him going forward, it probably would have been somebody else. And look, we waited for Jamal. We waited for different guys and got them later. And it's all played out. I mean, at the end of the day, you have to come here wanting the competition, wanting what this is. The principles I'm not changing. They guide us. The culture, it's not changing. It'll change young people, but it's not changing. The kids have done well. I mean, they go in the league and they perform at a high level, and they're all great teammates. I talked about Jamal Murray. I went and saw that game against Devon in Denver. In the beginning, the first half, he has like 5 points. I grabbed Roger. I said, Roger, he got to be aggressive. He can't be playing like this. Game ends, he has 20-some in the second half, and they win. And he talks to me after. I said, why did you